There he is.
Mike Z.
What's happening, Brock?
Oh, not a lot, man. How are you?
Doing great, man. Appreciate the time and want to get into this old band and get your opinion on a couple things and look backwards and forwards a little bit with you.
Okay, sounds good.
So let's start with obviously the brand new band, Paradise Slaves, loving the debut album with Hell in Its Eyes, and kind of born out of the pandemic and sitting around at home, right? It was initially supposed to be like jam on one song and turned into a full fledged band. Tell me that whole ride.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, the origins came from just a text message from Joel Stretzel catching up, and he told me his brother was doing a solo record and was looking to get singers on there, and asked if I'd be on it, and I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I didn't even know his brother Tyler at the time. But of course I knew Joel for 20 plus years, so um and I love Joel, so I was like, I don't even care what the music is, I love you, I'll do it. So yeah, and then I got linked up with Tyler, and he sent me the song, and yeah, it was cool, and it was cool to be a part of that record. He had a bunch of great singers on there. So after that, we just kind of became buds on the text. Is actually, I never had even heard of Zoom before the pandemic. So
Right.
we ended up setting up a Zoom to listen to the track that I did together. So we got both had, similar loves in whiskey and music and those things. So we're like, okay, we're gonna try this whiskey together. You get it, I get it. Of course, he's in Westfield, Mass, and I'm in Anchorage up here. So it just started like that. And we became fast friends, and then he had a bunch of other music. He had his solo record finished for a bit, and was thinking about maybe doing a volume two of it. And he had a bunch of songs written for that. So yeah, I was like, yeah, man, I'll do it again. And s- then you just have all these songs, and I was like, well, dude, why don't we just, you know, if you want me to keep singing on them, it's kind of weird to just be like the same vocalist on three of the songs and then a bunch of other guys. So that's kind of how it began. And of course, you know, I did know of Tyler, and I knew he had spent some time in diecast, and I knew the diecast guys from the late '90s, and we did some touring together. So I knew John Keita real well, and so he said, "Well, about I bring Keita into this?" And I was like, "Awesome, love Keita. He's awesome, dude." So next thing you know, we're getting Brad Horian, who's the bass player in diecast, and then the drummer, which is a kind of a wilder story, Ryan. Tyler found a YouTube playthrough of him playing the track that I sang on Tyler's record. So he's
Ah.
like, "Hey, check this dude out. He did our song." And I was like, no way. Internet's nuts. And so anyway, he ended up living maybe an hour away from him. They ended up meeting one day. Ryan's an awesome guy. And, next thing you know, we're starting a band. So I'd been in the same band since I was 18 years old. So it was completely foreign to me. And, also, I wasn't really going to do music on a professional level or whatever you want to call it anymore. I was just burnt out from it and wanted to spend more time with my family. I missed my daughter's first five birthdays, and she's now 15. So just so much life had been missed, and a lot of touring musicians, that's the sacrifice. So I was over that. And I just turned 50, so I'm not a young man. I don't have any grand illusions of this thing going further than it has, and I was super grateful for as far as it went anyway. So that was the thing, just starting to play in a band again was, not something I just wanted to jump into. And I guess I'm still sort of timid about it, even though it's been, 4 or 5 years later. But and hence the reason that we're not a touring band. It's something that we did. We wrote a killer record. I'm really grateful for it. At least I think it's killer, and it was a lot of fun to do. But we don't have like massive touring plans, and we don't, have. I'm not jumping in a van and starting from the bottom. It's not it. I got responsibilities, that I
Right.
have to take care of here, and so it's a really wonderful surprise that fell in my lap. and the guys are my best buds now, and that's all been, through as the years have gone on, and we've written a ton of songs. I mean, we've even written probably 7 more songs for the new album.
Oh,
So
wow.
I think it's always going to be something like that, and we just played our album release out in Westfield 2 weeks ago, which was super cool. It was awesome to be on stage again. I hadn't been on in a while, so had to knock the dust off that for sure. Specifically because I actually had this trip planned with like 3 of my best friends and their wives and my wife, and we went to Cabo to celebrate our 50th birthdays. So
Nice.
I straight up came off the couch to the pool to the stage, and it was one of those things where you're kind of glad that the stage was super small. Also, there's 5 of us in the band, so there's not a lot of room. So
Right.
I had my place, and did the best I could, but it was a lot of fun, and yeah. So that's kind of the origin of the band, and I'm grateful for it. It's awesome, guys, and it's wonderful to still be able to create music and make music.
Yeah, man, I love it. I love the positivity that you bring to the music. I mean, metal can certainly get dark and doom and gloom, but I love you always kind of shining that light at the end of the tunnel in your lyrics.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean, I'll try to. You're right. Life is dark, right? So, uh, and then so yeah, I'm trying. I'm just trying to put toes forward every day, trying to be better than yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do, really. I mean, just
Yeah,
put your head down and do the work.
yeah.
And I mean, I knew we were off to a good start when I first heard about the band, first heard Dreamers, fell in love with that tune right away and was like, we're off to a good start. I love that, like, grating guitar solo in that tune or whatever it is towards the end of it out of the bridge back into the chorus. I love that sound that he got off of it.
Yeah, I mean, John Keita, he's like a wizard, man. That dude, he does all kinds of things outside of the band as well. He's doing film scores and all kinds of cool stuff. But well, he didn't record the record. He recorded some of it, but he mixed and mastered the record. So it was a big part of John. I mean, I don't really love the studio, to be honest. I mean, I enjoy my part.
Sure.
When I'm done, I'm like,
I'm out.
yeah, the guys that can just sit in front of the computers all day long and edit drums and edit vocals and all that stuff. I got mad respect for that, but
That ain't you.
well, that's John. John is he loves that stuff. He lives for it. He breathes. I almost am careful to ask John questions because you're not going to get a straight one. You're going to get like 7 different routes to get to what you were asking. And I mean that in a good way. He's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
full of knowledge, man. He just is very smart with that world, and I'm super low tech.
Well, you need one of those guys in every band, right?
We always say that. You totally need one in your town. You got to have one.
Well, I'm curious. Speaking of recording, obviously, old friend getting Trevor from Unearth on a track on Swim North. Imagine that was an easy phone call for you to pick up the phone and call him to be on it.
Well, it was in a sense that of course, Trev's my brother, and he would do it. But those guys are on tour so much, I wasn't sure if it would line up. But I recorded out there in Westfield, Mass. So that's the area that all those boys live in. I mean, just that area, the New England metal vibes that are out there is strong. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, wonderful to have Trevor. Came up. Just killed it. Did everything I didn't want to do on that song. So yeah, it was great to have him, and he's one of the best out there, and he made the song a lot better. It was great to have him.
It's cool to hear your voice next to his voice. His voice is so deep,
Oh
and
yeah,
and really cool too that there is some like electronics on that track, which you wouldn't expect with two old school guys on it.
that's Kita. He's hearing all kinds of weird stuff in his head, and I'm like, what is that? He's like, oh, that's some sort. I don't know what the hell he would say, but uh, yeah, no, there's a lot of layers to it, which is another thing that was new for me in recording and stuff. We hadn't really dabbled in that stuff in 36, so that was cool. To have another extension of instrument in there, and you know. A lot of things were different for me, just like getting out and experiencing, maybe, and also being a little less, I know exactly what I'm doing, don't tell me how to do it different kind of thing too. I was open to Jimmy Fogarty was the engineer for my vocals, and he's done all kinds of stuff out there. You know, the Killswitch Records and Shadows Fall and all the bands. But Jimmy is an awesome guy. I actually got to see him when I was out there at the show, and I would do it with him in a heartbeat. He's just an amazing guy, and he has a lot of knowledge too. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to try something different, fly across the country, and be engulfed in that that traditional sense where the whole band's together in the same room and recording together. So that was fun.
Dude, I got to know who was the one that threw it out, man, because it's a phenomenal cover. I hope it gets released as a single at some point. But who was the one that said, "Hey, let's cover Soul Asylum"?
100% me.
Yeah,
I've been wanting to cover that song since that album came out. I'm a big 90s grunge fan, and I always thought, Runaway Train was the big song, of course, and
sure.
it found a lot of missing kids, which is killer from that video. But I always thought Somebody to Shove was just a
Yeah.
banger. And uh, I mentioned it to Keita one night, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's a sick song." And literally, like, I want to say 2 days later, excuse me, the thing was in my inbox.
Oh,
So I
wow.
went over, and actually, that song on the album wasn't re-recorded. That is the demo that me and John did.
Oh, wow.
It got mastered, of course, but that's just I did those vocals here in Anchorage, and uh, yeah, it's a fun song, man. And I've known it my whole life, so I was like, I got this, give it to me. And then he made it kind of heavier, and that was super cool.
I hope that gets like worked as a single and you do a video for it and everything. I think it deserves that push.
We did do a video for it, and it's gonna. I think it's out. To be honest, I think it's out, but I just saw an email from the label and the band that it's going to get a little more push to it. But literally, all the guys uh, videoed their parts in Westfield, and I did mine in my garage on an iPhone. But it looks pretty good for that, So whatever.
Dude, I got to say, I love that record too, that entire record and that song in particular. And recently, I guess it was a year or so ago, got to interview Dave Perner. They were doing an acoustic tour and playing
Yeah,
all that stuff acoustic, which was crazy to hear. And one of the strangest dudes I've ever met or interviewed.
really, really. Yeah, it'd be cool to know if they ever heard it. I've often thought of that in any cover, really. But yeah, I'd be interested to see. I work in rock radio here in Anchorage, so I
Yeah.
do the morning show there. And we had a cool situation where Candlebox came up, and they had just done "Turn Me Loose" by Loverboy.
Okay.
And then about 2 months later, we had Loverboy. And I don't know if you've ever had the chance to meet Mike Reno, but he is a cool, super cool dude. Anyway, we played it for him, the Candlebox version, and he was loving it. He was rocking out. And I always thought how cool it would have been for Candlebox to know that.
Yeah. Yeah. To
So
see that.
anyway, yeah.
Dude, it's funny you mentioned the radio because I was gonna talk to you about that. So still doing morning, are you doing morning radio?
Yeah, we do. It's called the Bob Rock Show, and my partner Bob has had that show for almost 40 years. I mean,
Oh,
I grew
wow.
up listening to that morning show since I was in high school, and so Bob's been my brother for years. He was really supportive of my music, and about 7 years ago, his co-host went on to a different venture, and I got the job. So I've been there now for 7 years. Used to go to bed at 4 in the morning. Now I'm at work at 4 in the morning.
I was
So
gonna say that's the toughest thing with mornings is that schedule.
yeah, it's a healthy change for me, let me tell you, brother. But it's been a wonderful job. I've dabbled in radio even before that, so probably maybe the last 15 years or so. I had a metal show late night on a different station up here, and so I always loved the idea of radio. And I actually interned on this show like 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Before internet, I used to circle the sports stores stories in the paper for them, and so I got a bit of history there, and I love the job. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, it's cool. I know you've been doing it for a long time. I was going to ask you too, like, what's been the thing now that you're a radio pro after all these years? What's the one thing that the peek behind the curtain that you're most amazed by? Is it like the easiest job ever, and you can't believe people get paid for it, or is there something a little bit more difficult or challenging that you maybe didn't realize as a listener that you now know working in it?
Well, some of it's easy, right? Because what we do is mostly conversation with my buddy every morning. But when I had to learn the board, like I
Ah,
said, I told you I was low tech, and I that was like that's one of my prouder moments that I figured out how to, because it's live radio, you know. So when my partner who does sit at the board, when he's out of town, I got to run it. So I had to learn trial by fire, and I had some mistakes for sure, but I'm really proud of myself that I know how to run it now, and yeah, I mean it's a killer job. More people we're hiring all the time for afternoon slots and stuff like that. It's amazing how many people aren't really getting into radio anymore, and
yeah.
I'm not sure if the trades at school aren't happening like they were, but it's a wonderful industry. You get a lot of perks. I mean, the pay is what you make it. You know, you got to get out and hustle and get your endorsements and things like that. But and I've learned a lot from my partner in that regard as well. You can make money, but yeah, it's a sweet gig. And I'm on a rock station. I'm playing metal. I mean, that's what I love. And I'm playing like this morning, for example, on Fridays, we call it Freeform Friday. So it's kind of, and we're kind of on an island on our show. We definitely have the active rock jams going, but
Mhm.
during our show, we're playing everything. We're playing Bob Seger, Huey Lewis, Exodus,
Oh, wow.
Cannibal Corpse, Slayer. Like we're just, it's like college radio almost. You know what I mean? On a
Nice.
on an active rock station, but um, and I don't even know if it's active rock is the right term for that. But anyway, we got all the new stuff too, you know. But this morning, for example, I was just having a blast because I'm by myself today. My partner's son is in town, so they went fishing early, and literally, I was playing Bob Seger, Huey Lewis, Exodus, Slayer, two
Wow.
Panteras between 6 and 9. Mixed it up. Yeah, so it's a good gig.
Well, dude, talking radio, I need your help. We're in radio station. We do a
Yeah.
feature called Mandatory Metallica,
Yep.
which you're going to be a part of, and I've been having this little Metallica debate, so I need to get your pick.
Okay, it's my favorite band of all time, so let's go.
So me and my buddy debating their greatest thrash metal album and coming down on opposing sides. So I need you to weigh in on this. My buddy picks Ride the Lightning. We're on the next album, Master of Puppets. If you had to choose one out of those two, which one would it be?
Yeah, Master for sure.
Yeah.
It's my favorite album, and Disposable Hero is my favorite Metallica song. So yeah, I always hear that argument. I mean, I love Ride the Lightning. The first four are the Bibles, in my opinion. I mean, I remember when the Black Album came out, I wasn't a big fan. It moved me into more Slayer, to be honest. But
Same.
um, I come back to the Black Album now, and I'm like, dude, that's a badass record. And time moves on, and you change your minds here and there. But yeah, Master of Puppets, 100% my favorite album of all time.
Same. And same with the whole Black Album when that came out. I was like, what happened to my band? And went
Yeah,
through that whole
exactly.
phase. But speaking of the Black Album, I almost think we have to call that the greatest metal album of all time. I mean, it sold 20 million albums.
Yeah, definitely have the sales for sure. My favorite track off the Black Album is of Wolf and Man. I love that song. I actually saw Metallica last summer in Seattle. I brought my daughter, which I'd been telling
Did
her
you
I
go
was
both
going to do.
nights?
I just went Saturday,
Ah,
which I think the set list for Friday was had more of my favorites, but it was unbelievable. Death Punch was unbelievable. All the bands. I would have liked to have seen Pantera, but I saw Pantera a bunch with Dime and Vinny. So,
yeah,
but I haven't seen them uh, with
Charlie.
Zach and Charlie. But yeah, 100%. I'd love to see that too. But yeah, man, I'm still high from that show. It was so awesome.
Best band ever. I mean, they get the crown, I think.
No doubt about it.
I certainly love My Friend Misery off of, I think that's my
Yeah,
cut off of the
my
Black
friend
Album.
the misery.
That
Yes,
bass line in the beginning and everything. Ah.
yes.
Just to put a button on it, dude, pick a song for us to play on Mandatory Metallica. What can we play for you?
Oh, any song? Let's go with something off of Ride the Lightning. Let's go with Creeping Death.
Okay. Live staple. Can't mess with that.
Yeah.
Brock, I appreciate all the time, dude. Last thing I got for you, we got to talk a little 36.
Okay.
Say it ain't so. Is it the band is over? Is it
Um,
finished? Stick.
well, I've learned a lot in my life, and you never say never. But for now, no plans. But I love all the guys, and we had a wonderful ride, and I'm grateful for all of it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing radio and I've been at my same station for 20 years, been in the market for 25 years, played every 36 album since it came out, doing the metal show. And I still listen to the second album, probably a Snow-Capped Romance, probably once a month and just binge on it. It's still one of my favorite albums. Still one of those albums where if I'm having a bad day, I put that on and feel better.
That's awesome, man. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, it was a wonderful thing for sure.
And just because it came up recently, my wife, I walked into the room, she was screaming on the phone. And I walked into the room and I said, "You were talking louder than I should hear." Destroy the Map, probably my favorite song off that album. Anything
Yeah.
you can tell me about that tune?
Ooh, well, one of my best friends from Anchorage growing up sang on that track, Wraith and Clay, and it was a special thing to do together. Um, yeah, it was one of those relationship songs, of course. I had a lot of those back then, but I also love that song. It's a banger. So yeah, it's definitely one of those songs that a lot of people got excited about when it started up.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't it one of the singles or one of the initial one? So much attention was on
Oh,
Blood Work and End of
yeah,
August and everything, but that was one of the deeper cuts that I was like that and Cure Eclipse.
yeah, yeah, right on. Yeah, yeah, those are all fun to make for sure.
And as much as I love that album, there's tracks on all of them I've really been loving as I am more recently too.
Also, am I? Yeah.
Or also my yes.
That was me with my terrible English. It's not your fault. Yeah. Yeah. No, wonderful memories for sure.
Well, fingers crossed that something comes along with that. Just out of curiosity, man, had the band still been active, would you do one of those like anniversary tours and play like a Snow-Capped Romance in its entirety on tour? Would you be open to that idea?
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, never say never.
But I mean, it's something that would interest you. I mean, a lot of the bands that you came up with, Trivium's out there doing it, playing Ascendancy, album in its entirety and everything. It seems to be a trend lately. And me as a fan, I love that. Knowing what songs I'm going to hear in order, just like I listen to it on the CD. But just kind of curious from the artist perspective, that's something you'd be into.
Yeah. No, I think it'd be cool to do that for sure. We did it for bitterness. So,
Okay.
uh, yeah, it was definitely probably something that we would have done.
Dude, thank you so much for the chat. Great album. Can't wait for the next one and maybe get to see the band live one of these days.
Yeah, I hope so, man. Hope so. Thanks for the chat. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Brock. Have a good one.
Yeah, see you later.
Bye bye.